Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again with yet another Foundations Commander, and I need to make an apology before I go any further because I made a mistake at the end of yesterday's video because I thought this commander was a doggy. It's not. It's Loot, Exuberant Explorer, 2 in a green for a Beast Noble. For some reason I thought Loot was a dog. Have no idea why. I got it muddled up in my head. So apologies if you've watched the whole of yesterday's video and you've come here expecting to see a dog commander today. I got it wrong. My bad. But anyway, Loot lets us play an additional land on each of our turns, and then we can pay 4 and double green to tap him, or her, or them. Let's go with them. Look at the top 6 cards of our library, reveal a creature card from among them equal to or less than the number, with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands we control, and put it on the battlefield. Everything else goes on the bottom of our library in a random order. Now, I had this as one of my cards in a green-white deck at the pre-release at the weekend, and I did some seriously stupid things with Loot. Had a couple of small ramp spells and we managed to get there, and yeah, having Loot come down and tap and do things, yeah, I really enjoyed my day. Let's look at it that way. It's just a shame that I was falling asleep and I had to stop after the end of round 3, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. But anyway, Loot, we're going to look at him today, well, them today, and see where we can go from there, because this mono green commander is, I think, is going to be one of the all-stars out of the new set in Commander Land here on MTGO and probably in your local store as well. So, starting at the beginning, Bristling Bill comes in first to chuck around some +1/+1 counters if we need them to. And then we have lots of ways to get extra lands in play. You'll see this all through the deck. So Azusa's back, along with the Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Nissa Resurgent Animus gives us a little bit of extra mana, and we can find an elemental or elf in the deck if we need to. We have got an elf because we've got Selvala, Heart of the Wilds here to give us even more mana if we need it. Wayward Sawtooth lets us drop an additional land, and then once we get the City's Blessing we can do the whole attacking and blocking thing with them. Oracle of Muldai lets us play lands off top of our library because we'll have a top card revealed. Suruk, the Hunt Caller, is also in, just to make sure that our creatures, if we activate Loot in our first main phase, hopefully we'll be able to give them haste and get in with. And really from now on in is where we're starting to look at the creatures that we're hoping to hit with Loot when we get them tapped. So Battle Mammoth is next to get that card draw when things get targeted. Kura, the Boundless Sky, gives us lands if we need them, or a really big spirit creature if we've got a lot of lands in play already. Oja Kaslam, Deepest Growth, had to be here for getting that smack in for the creature and land you get when you hit, and then flipping into a land when it undoubtedly gets killed off, unfortunately. Railway Brawler, just whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is its power. That's just silly. The reach is also quite sneaky, by the way, on this card. Seedborn Moves means that we can use Loot in everyone's turn. It's not sorcery speed or anything else, it's just tap it and do it. Yeah, so that makes life a little bit more interesting. Vorinclex is also in. Go and get a couple of forests, put them in our hand. Hopefully we'll be able to drop them off because of the ways we've got of playing extra lands. And if we get them flipped into the Grand Evolution, we're going to have a good day. Carnage Tyrant hits in. Trample Hexproof can't be countered, so a nice 7/6 thing that's going to be hard for anyone to remove. Conclave Siege Captain. I just like the backup ability, to be perfectly honest. Trample, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Okay then. Kadoma of the East Tree, another permanent enters the battlefield under control. We can put something in our hand onto the battlefield as well. So with this and Loot out, we get double going on when we activate Loot, if we've got things as smaller anyway. Rampaging Baloths is a no-brainer in this deck to get the extra beast tokens. Soul of Zendikar lets us chuck around beast tokens and dump our mana into things if we need to. Avenger of Zendikar, yep, another one that can target off Loot, get this into play, get a whole load of plants, and then make those plants bigger as we drop lands, because Cultivator Colossus will help us do that. Dawnglade Regent, I think we had it in deck earlier in the, well, we had another one earlier in the week that gave us the Monarchy. This one that makes all our, as long as we're the Monarch, everything has hexproof, so it gives us a nice way of protecting Loot. Hopefully our stuff will be big enough to block with as well, so we won't lose the Monarchy that easily. Elder Scale Worm just comes in, enters the battlefield. If our life total is less than 7, it becomes 7, and we can never go below 7 as long as this is in play. So, yeah, a little bit of protection in the long term. Nyx Bloom Ancient to triple up our mana production. Old Nullbone to give us all those treasure tokens when it hits. A Rampaging Brontodon when it attacks +1/+1 for each until the end of turn for each land we control. We will have a lot of lands, one feels. I hope, anyway. Titan of Industry gives us a Rhino and maybe probably some life gain, I would guess, off the top of my head. Voltborn Tyrant is also here. Whenever another creature with power of 4 or greater enters the battlefield, we get to gain 3 and draw a card. And when this dies, it comes back as a copy of itself, except it's an artifact. So, yeah, keep it around for as long as possible. Zorpandrel was definitely in the Coma deck earlier in the week, and it's back again here today, because who doesn't like doubling up the power and toughness of their creatures? Craterhoof was there as well. More ways of winning the game. Golter Stampede Tyrant had to be in as well. We will have a point of the game where we have got creatures in our hand, and casting this for 8 and putting all those creatures into play will help us out, I believe, immensely. Kamal, Heart of Crozer, one of the original Commander Legends, coming back in. Gives basically all of our creatures the overrun effect every turn, which is just, yeah, game breaking most of the time. Foreign Clicks Hunger of Voice of Hunger doubles up our mana production and means that our opponent's lands don't untap when they tap them. Imperious Great Worm, 10 mana for a 16/16 that's indestructible. Yes, it doesn't have Convoke. Yes, it can be blocked all day by a 1/1 and get distracted by a Sapling or a Eldrazi Spawn token or something, but at the end of the day, it's still a 16/16 that is virtually unkillable, unless it gets exiled, of course. And Wellspine Worm, when it dies, we get 3 5/5 worms, and this gets shuffled back into our library so we can hit it again with loot. From there, Garruk Wildspeaker's here just to make sure we can untap lands if we need them to, just to help out a little bit. And then we have some spells. Smuggler's Surprise is just one of those cards I like playing, especially in a mono green deck where it's easy to hit all 3 of the additional costs in one go. So yeah, we'll go with that. Explore, Nature's Law are all here. Rampant Growth 3 visits Cultivate Kodoma's Reach just to ramp our mana out as quickly as possible. And Shamanic Revelation lets us draw a lot of cards and hopefully gain a lot of life when we kick it off. The final card, because I haven't played it for a while, I wanted some fun. Praetor's Council. We return everything from our graveyards to our hand and have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. That really does help with this deck, because you will find that your creatures will get killed off reasonably quickly. But this just gives us a way to recycle everything as we go along without having to revert to my usual elixir of immortality. Speaking of artifacts, the boots, the greaves and the other boots are all here to get on loot as soon as possible so we can activate him the turn he comes down after he's been killed off. Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, Thought Vessel for a little bit more ramp. Nyx Lotus is here as well, because our devotion to green should be high enough that we get a decent amount of mana off this every turn. Likewise, because we are playing on a monocolour deck, Throne of Eldraine makes an appearance. No point not playing this if you're playing a monocolour deck, by the way. Just make sure you do. Portals for Phyrexia gives us a little bit of, yeah, people will sacrifice small things when this hits, but nicking everything from their graveyard that's hopefully been killed off by our big boys when they attack does kind of help us significantly. Likewise, the Great Henge is back again. I think it's probably the 3rd deck running this week. Having the spell this come down a lot less depending on the mana of the creatures we've got, then tapping for 2 green and gaining some life, and then a bit of card draw and a bit of +1. Oh, you know what it does. I don't need to tell you, it's just a great card. If you haven't got one, go and buy one for your green decks. Enchantment wise, Exploration for some more land dropping, Utopia Sprawl to go on one of our many forests we have in the deck, so we get that extra mana on the go. Up the Beanstalks here as well. Oh, it just gives a bit of land card draw, and we will have creatures, yeah, whenever we cast spells with mana value 5 or greater we get to draw a card, we'll have a lot of them. Growing Lights Itlamok are also in as well. Semming Gaia's Cradle. Rites of Flourishing, extra card draw, land drop. Tribute to the World Tree. Makes loot a bit more of a threat when he comes in, believe it or not. With this in play, he comes down as a 3/7, which makes him a little bit harder to kill, which is quite nice. Again, Defense of the Heart, because we are playing a lot of cards that are quite expensive to play. This will give us 2 of the best creatures we can get out at any one time. And finally, Virtuous Strength. Return something from our graveyard that's been knocked off, and then start tapping our basic lands for 3 times as much mana is something I will quite happily do with this deck where everything's got such a high casting cost. We haven't got that many lands that don't do anything fancy, so we've got the Arch to draw some cards once we hit the Ascend trigger, and then the cards from Streets of New Capenna to go and find forests. So we've got Broker's Hideout, Cabaretti Courtyard in, and Riveter's Overlook down the bottom here. Castle Garenbriggs here to help us get the creatures out Crater. Fabled Passage is also in. Homeward Path, because I seem to be having a lot of people when I'm playing online at the moment stealing my creatures, and yeah, they're my creatures, not theirs, so I want them back. Mosswalk Bridge does a little bit of fun and games with the hideaway stuff, and we should be able to hit 10 power quite easily to get the card cast without paying its casting costs. Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx is also here. We will be devoted to green quite happily. Oran Reef, the Vastwood is also in to put +1/+1 counters on each creature then to battlefield this turn. And Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, to make sure everything is a forest. There is one card I have missed out, and I did it on purpose. Because this deck for me will be played mainly online, Gaia's Cradle is in. If you are looking to build this version of loot in real life, if you don't have a Cradle, yes, you could proxy one if your shopper lets you use proxies. Otherwise, drop this out, put your 24th forest in, you'll be fine with this deck. It's not a big deal at all. But that's it. That is my take on Loot, who is rapidly becoming, in the pile of cards I have down here beside me, my newest green deck for Commander, which I'm looking forward to playing at one of the Commander events that are coming up in my friendly local gaming store very shortly. If you think there's anything I've missed out or I've boo-booed anywhere, yes, you could play, we'll just say it now, yes, I know you could play Seedborn Muse in, well, you have got Seedborn Muse in here. You could play the Ramp Elves to go in as well, you know, Archdruid, Lanoir, Mystic, all the rest of it, Feyenoord. I avoided them. They could go in, you could put them in as well, have extra creatures and give you more mana availability. I decided to avoid it because I really just wanted to try and play a green deck without them in for a change, because one of the Jumpstart cards coming up next week will have lots and lots of elves in it. You can probably work out which one it is. But Loot's just fun. So, anyway, as I was saying, anything I've missed out, let me know in the comments down below. There's 544 people here subscribed to the YouTube channel as I record this. Please, if you've not been here before, hit that subscribe button that's down the bottom here somewhere. Hit the like button, hit the share button, leave a comment, help me out with the algorithm. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, and I definitely know tomorrow's deck is all about things that go meow. So for now, take care, have a great day, and I'll see you with tomorrow's mono deck as well. Take care, bye.